Hello and welcome to the first of 3 sessions in this workshop series brought to you by Phoenix Trauma Services in partnership with SENDhelp. If you're watching this, chances are you're parenting or caring for a child with special educational needs or disabilities, and somewhere along the way you may have forgotten that your experience matters too. This workshop is titled The Hidden Emotional Impact of Parenting a SEN Child. It's not about blame. It's not about suggesting that parents are doing things wrong. It's about honesty, compassion, awareness and understanding. Because raising a SEN child can be beautiful, profound and deeply meaningful, but it can also be exhausting, isolating, frightening and overwhelming and traumatic. Many parents carry guilt for even admitting that, but we can't heal what we refuse to acknowledge. This session will explore parental trauma and why some parents often feel shame, the nervous system and its responses, the emotional burden of advocacy, and a self-reflection. It's important to know that whilst many parents share the same fight for support, lived experiences do vary greatly. So let's get into it. Understanding parental trauma. When we think about trauma, we often imagine one catastrophic event. But trauma is not always one moment. Sometimes it can be cumulative. Sometimes trauma is years of fighting systems, constantly being misunderstood, never fully relaxing, feeling judged in public, sleep deprivation, financial stress, social isolation, fear for your child's future, repeated school phone calls, medical appointments, meltdowns, aggression, uncertainty, and living in a constant state of hypervigilance. Many SEN parents live in survival mode for years. The nervous system was never designed to stay permanently activated, and yet many parents do exactly that, and often silently. Why do some parents often feel shame? There is an enormous social pressure placed on parents and carers. Parents and carers are expected to cope gracefully, remain endlessly patient, regulate themselves perfectly, advocate for their children and themselves constantly, and sacrifice themselves without any complaint. When parents struggle, emotionally or otherwise, society often responds with judgment instead of compassion. But struggling doesn't make you a bad parent, it makes you human. So acknowledging emotional exhaustion is not a weakness, it's awareness. And awareness is where healing can begin. The nervous system and survival responses. When we're overwhelmed for long periods, our nervous system adapts for survival. This can show up, as shown here in the trauma tree, as irritability, emotional numbness, anxiety, shutdown, over-controlling behaviours, people-pleasing, snapping quickly, catastrophizing, perfectionism, emotional withdrawal, or chronic guilt. These aren't character flaws, they are nervous system responses. And a trauma-informed approach will ask, what happened to this person? Or what is this person going through right now? Rather than what's wrong with this person. And interestingly, when we look at this trauma tree, some of these responses that we see, if not all of them, are often displayed by our children. The emotional burden of advocacy. For SEN parents, often you need to be professional. More often than not, in fact. We become advocates, therapists, coordinators, researchers, protectors, educators, emotional regulators, and sometimes all of those things are done before breakfast. Many parents are constantly anticipating problems. Will school understand today? Will my child go to school today? Will there be another incident? Are people going to stare at us in the supermarket? Will my child cope? What happens when I'm no longer here? Living in this constant state of anticipation with high levels of anxiety can create chronic stress and emotional exhaustion. And importantly, children absorb emotional environments, particularly children with SEN, and when nothing is spoken out loud, they still anticipate and feel the vibrations, the energy, and the body responses that we give in our body language. This is why our own emotional regulation and well-being matters, not because parents must be perfect, but because regulated adults help create emotional safety for children. So just take a moment to reflect. When was the last time that you felt emotionally safe yourself? How often do you minimize your own struggles? What emotions do you suppress because you feel that you should just cope? What support do you wish that someone had offered you sooner? There's no judgment here at Phoenix or at SENDhelp, only awareness. And if I can give you one message today, it is for you to know that you are human and that it is okay for you to have bad days. It does not make you a bad parent. You are allowed to acknowledge that this journey is hard. You are allowed to feel grief and love, exhaustion and devotion, and fear and hope. Two things can exist at the same time. Trauma-informed parenting begins with recognizing that parents are impacted too, and when parents receive compassion and validation rather than shame and blame, healing becomes possible for the whole family. In the next workshop, we will explore how unresolved stress and trauma can unconsciously transfer into our parenting, and how awareness can help protect both parent and child.